Alright, hello everybody, it's your good friend Pozzible here, and I got a very special presentation for you based off of, the superhero genre, which is in its golden age right now in terms of superhero movies. They're everywhere, but, at this time of the year, it's the end of the year, so it's the end of 2013. We look back and we look forward. We look at what happened, and we compare the best and the worst, and then we look at what is to come, and we have hopes for the future. So with that spirit in mind, I bring to you the top 5 overused superhero cliches. These are things that practically all superhero movies have done one time or another, and not just done, but overdone. So let's take a look at what are the top 5 things superhero movies have done way too much. Let's take it from the beginning. Yes, thank you, Christopher Nolan. Back in 2005, he brought up the concept of something begins. Batman Begins. And so, ever since that time, something begins has been the humongous cliche that's been happening every time we have a superhero movies. We always got to start from the beginning. And I'm not just talking about the beginning of their career. I'm talking about the beginning of their life. We have to have this humongous discussion about what their lives were like decades before they were even a superhero. And it's not, don't get me wrong, with movies like Guardian of the Galaxy coming out and Ant-Man, you gotta start from the beginning because no one's heard of these people before. But we're starting from the beginning of Superman and Spider-Man, and how many times are we gonna see Batman's family killed, Spider-Man get bitten by the spider, Krypton blowing up? We've seen it enough. It's time to move on. Next up, why is everyone so stupid? Now don't get me wrong, I understand the notion that says, how can a person really be super if everyone is super? Which brings me to another problem though. How super is somebody when everyone else is a moron? This idea was popularized back in 1966 with Adam West starring as Batman in the TV series, but even in serious movies, they make everyone else be such an idiot. The biggest culprit is Man of Steel. Are we really supposed to believe that the U.S. military is still trying to figure out where Superman hangs his cape with drones when A, Superman tells him he's from Kansas, and B, a small town in Kansas, for no reason whatsoever, gets ransacked by Superman and the aliens, and one house in particular, far away from the main populace, was attacked. It's obvious where he comes from. It's even more obvious where he is. So, the fact that they make out these people to be that stupid, it's going too far. I mean, you don't want to make your superhero have to be up against morons. You don't respect them anymore. So stop making everybody out to be so stupid. Next up, the one-shot wonders. Yes, the one-shot wonders kill all the bad guys. We've seen this in the Avengers. They blow up the mothership, all the bad guys go down. Now these were organic beings. This wasn't like Phantom Menace where they blow up the command ship and the robots fall down. They're robots, for crying out loud. So all of a sudden, all these aliens just die because you blow up their mothership? This has been around for the longest time. It's the hive mentality. If you haven't seen Lost in Space in 1998, I thought it was okay. A lot of people didn't like it. But you know what? Every bad guy has this hive mentality where they just die at the drop of a hat. And there's hundreds of them. There's thousands of them. But they're so easy to kill because once you kill one, you've killed them all. With that in mind, I want to bring up one exception to this rule. Independence Day, 1996. A lot of people say, oh, they blew up the mothership, so all the aliens die. That's not true. If you remember the scene ever so briefly when the mothership came crashing down, there were still fighter jets flying around, destroying the stragglers, destroying the various single fighter airplanes that the aliens brought in. So that doesn't really count. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand why they do this. They want to end the movie as soon as possible. And when you got thousands of bad guys, you really can't wait till you've killed thousands of people. So you've got that one-shot wonder that just drops them all like a hat. It's getting old, though. I mean, one thing about these cliches is that realistically, these cliches aren't really that bad. But they've been overused to death. Alright, next up, we've got the hero secret identity is revealed. When I was growing up, a hero's secret identity was their ultimate gospel. I mean, they had no other choice but to hide themselves from everyone they loved and everyone who hated them. That said, they've been going away from this. Ever since Iron Man back in 2008, when Tony Stark said at a news conference, "I am Iron Man, I'm not going to play this game with you of having a secret identity, quote unquote. I'm just going to go for telling you now." Amazing Spider-Man 2012. Peter Parker immediately shares his secret identity with Gwen Stacy, just like that. Bad snap, sorry. And I'm wondering if they're really going to keep this. I mean, make a decision. Either keep the secret identity or lose it altogether. But I believe that we are getting away from the secret identity. I mean, let's face it. We all know that in the original story of the Avengers, back in the comic book days, nobody knew who Iron Man was. Not even the Avengers themselves. Even in his early incarnation days, Steve Rogers and Captain America were two different people in the minds of everyone else. He was a private, Steven, and Captain America was the superhero. So you got to decide how you want to play this, but I would really hope that eventually we either get back to the basics of protecting the secret identity as something that's sacred and needs to be protected, or just let it out and forget all the secret identity stuff. And now for my biggest pet peeve when it comes to superhero movies. They lose their powers. Aw. This is a cliche that's been done in almost every single superhero movie you can imagine. Iron Man 3 and Wolverine, just in 2013 alone, that was their main premise, was them losing their powers. That's why it was regular man, not Iron Man. He didn't have his suit anymore. Wolverine couldn't heal anymore, so he lost his powers. But they're still heroic. They're still the good guys. They're still going to do their thing. This has been going on since even before 1980 Superman 2. When Superman decided he was going to give up his powers. That can also be referred to as I quit. You know, being a superhero is not easy. There's not a lot of rewards in here. You're not going to get a lot of money. You're not going to get benefits. But you're putting your life on the line for people you don't know just to stop a bad guy from destroying the world and the people you love. That said, it's easy for the superhero to want to give up being a superhero. And it's not too hard. All they have to do is just stop doing it. You know, it's not like anyone hired them or anything. But that said, it's been done to death. It's been overdone. This whole I quit being a superhero or they're going to lose their power is something everyone has done. Even Thor, that was his first movie. They took away his power. And we haven't even really gotten to know him yet. And they're already removing his powers. So this is the one cliche that's gotta go. You gotta stop removing their powers. You gotta stop the I quit. Why? Because we know they're coming back. We know they're gonna be kicking butt in their costume in just a few more minutes. So why play this game that everyone plays? Been there, done that. Let's stop it. Let's move on to newer stuff. And so that's why I'm hoping that these top 5 superhero cliches can go away. With that said, do you agree with my list? Is there another cliche that they really got to stop in superhero movies? Let me know in the comments below.